welcome. Welcome to the Living in Utah live question and answer session here. Thursday evening. I try to make it every single Thursday. This is an opportunity. You're welcome to ask whatever kind of questions you want, whether it's on the state of Utah, real estate, or even the United States. If you are joining us from outside of the country, you're welcome to post your questions, and I'll try my very best. It's and I probably say this a few times, but it's great in Utah at the current moment, weather-wise. If you're in northern Utah, you are enjoying upper 70s weather. It's fantastic. So whatever your outdoor adventure is, definitely can enjoy it. It is some beautiful days, and I'm taking advantage of that myself. So the weather is great in the state of Utah. The state of Utah is actually doing good. And on today's show, I'll be answering some questions. So pull up your chair, and I've got some news events that are happening in the state of Utah or that relate to the state of Utah. I'll talk a little bit about and answer any questions as we get to some questions. So Utah has some campgrounds, or had some campgrounds, let's put it that way, that were free. No longer the case. Some of the campgrounds that were free, they are going to start implementing a charge to those campgrounds for you to stay there. So they have a whole list of them. So they're just trying to get a little bit more money in the Parks and Recreational Division. So you're going to see fees charged where at some of them that were not charged in the past. So another way for the government to get a little bit of money, I guess, huh? Yes. So we got some campgrounds. We also have a local company, not local to the state of Utah, but local to Idaho. You might be familiar with Albertsons grocery stores. The big grocery store Kroger is in talks to merge with Albertsons. Albertsons is very popular throughout the state of Utah, a lot of locations. They are actually headquartered just north of us in Boise, Idaho. So I have personally walked around their corporate headquarters of Albertsons. They are sponsors to, they are the major sponsor to a 5K cancer run, breast cancer run that they hold every year. So it's always held outside of their building. And I have been up a couple times to the 5K run. But yes, they are looking at merging Kroger and Albertsons. Grocery stores joining together. So we also had in the state of Utah a cyber attack on the LDS member data. There was a security breach, and some information was taken from the LDS church database. So the article goes on to say what you can do about it. So I guess they are attacking everybody they can, some of the cyber criminals. I found this interesting. Capitol riots on January the 6th. There is a Utah father and son who have pled guilty. Father and son both went to the Capitol and were involved in the Capitol riots. They are from Eagle Mountain, Utah, just west of the Provo-Orem area. They did plead guilty to demonstrating, picketing, and parading. Their sentence is scheduled for January the 17th. It took a little bit of a while. Seems to have taken a while. So anyways, a couple of people from Utah. We've actually had other people from Utah also charged in the Capitol riots. Not the only ones. So Not the only ones. And talk about the film industry. Film industry in Utah. It is actually a fairly big business. We're nowhere near the size of Hollywood by any means. I don't know what the latest on the plans are, but there's supposed to be like a mini type of Hollywood being built up in the Ogden area, west of Ogden. They have earmarked a bunch of land, and last I heard, it was trying to go through planning and zoning. But this particular article is that business in Utah for the film industry is booming. There have been a number of films shot here. And also some TV shows. So there is currently, the article states that they are shooting High School Musical 4. There have been some other popular movies like Easy Rider and Thelma and Louise that was filmed here in the state of Utah. Bon Jovi, I remember many years ago, Bon Jovi on one of his albums, when they were doing the music videos, he filmed quite a bit in the state of Utah. So anyways, it goes on to say basically that, the film industry is booming. One area of the state that does see a lot is the Moab area. Moab, Utah does receive a lot of inquiries, or they do film quite a bit down that area. So there's a TV show also that was filmed here, or part of it was filmed here. I believe it's the Yellowstone TV Show. I personally have not watched the show, but I heard that they were filming episodes of that here in Utah. Some of the scenes or part of it. I remember seeing in the newspapers. Also, 127 hours where the guy cut off his own arm to survive. Oh, wow. I'm familiar with the movie, but I didn't realize that was filmed in the state of Utah. Cool. Yeah, great. Yeah, there's, some of the mountains, your Red Rock formations like down in southern Utah are very popular. So great places, I guess, to shoot a movie. Anything going on anybody wants to talk about that I can answer? I can talk a little bit about the economy too. It was today, the stock market rallied. It took a huge nosedive when CPI data came out this morning, 6:30 in the morning, Utah time. Huge downfall, and recovered and did pretty good. This is definitely a different type of recession, I feel, because it's a global recession, and there are so many countries that are also affected, just like the United States. And it's really, I think, thrown the experts for a little bit of a loop. You would think, okay, recession, everything, the US dollar is down the tubes, it's not worth anything, but the US dollar is strong. A matter of fact, about 2 weeks ago, 7 to 14 days, somewhere around there, the British pound and the US dollar, it was the lowest it has ever been. The dollar was that strong, the lowest ever recorded. So it was $1.03 to 1 British pound. So basically, you're almost even. You exchange your money, it cost you $103 for every 100 pounds. So you're almost in an even exchange rate. I have personally seen, I do follow it quite a bit. That's the lowest I've ever seen, and it's the lowest on record. I personally have actually exchanged money at $2.25 to 1 British pound. So basically everything was, when you would visit the country, everything was basically costing you double. So if you saw hamburger for £3, then with the exchange rate at almost 2 to 1, it was costing you like $6. So, and now it'd be like £3 would almost be equal to $3. But it's the lowest it's ever. That's how strong the US dollar is. But on the other hand, we're high inflation, going into a recession, but the US dollar is very strong around the world with many currencies. So holding strong. So this is a different scenario. And I often wonder, with the interest rates, have we gone too fast, too quickly? I personally think that happened during COVID. I think we dropped too fast. I didn't think we needed to quite drop so far. And it's great for people who got loans under 3%. But I'm wondering right now, are we going too high? Are we raising interest rates too high on everything? Credit card, homes, cars, etc. So okay, so when you buy a house in Utah, it's okay to not report the sale price if you want to. We are a non-disclosure state anyways. So we are a non-disclosure state, so the information is not readily disclosed on purchase prices. It's, I guess I got mixed emotions. Roughly, I mean, you can almost figure out, but by looking at the MLS trend, how long the home's been on the market, et cetera, say it was up for $500,000. You can almost guess it's sold somewhere around there, 495, depending on what market you're in and what year you're in. So like, if I saw a list price right now of a home, it was $500K and it sold about a year ago, you could probably say it sold for $550, $540. You can get a rough idea anyways. So, but we are a non-disclosure state. So websites like Zillow are not 100% accurate. They do use, I'm not too sure how they get their data exactly. I've been told it's through a variety of algorithms and county tax records, et cetera. So, but yeah, we are a non-disclosure state. So it's not something that somebody can just get on the computer and see what their neighbor next door paid for a home. So, but they can go and find previous listings or find the actual listing of the home and make assumptions off of that. So, but yeah, we are a non-disclosure state though. Any more questions this evening? Well, if we have no more questions, I am going to call it an evening and I'll be back. Let's see, but it affects your property tax. Well, now see, that's something different. That's a different conversation because the counties have access to that. So, of course, they need access to sold data for appeal processes and everything else. But they're so the way most of it is done. So let's say you purchase a home for $500,000 and property tax notices come out. You have a few ways to appeal. You can get 3 comparable sales for that particular year. And some people get confused about that. This is in most counties. Every county does a little bit different. Most counties. So like right now, property tax notices came out about 2 months ago. But that's based for 2021. So you have to get 3 comparable sales in 2021. And you put what your particular, now I appeal my property tax every year. So you put what you feel the value of your home is on the form, and then you put your comparisons to match it attached with it. Now you can do it online, so you can scan the documents and send it, but used to mail it in. You can still mail it in, I believe. So you can appeal based off of comparable sales. You can also appeal based off of factual data that is wrong. So if they've got some data on there that is wrong. And the other thing is, if you recently purchased the home during a certain time period, you can submit your sales contract to the county, and they will look. They will take that value there. So property tax appeals. So like this year, I appeal mine every year. This year, and you do not get a reason. I don't remember what my exact number was, but I was way down here and I had comps to show that particular number based off of square footage. And they basically took about $30,000 or $40,000 off of what their estimate was. And that was like the final word in a sense, but it's not the final word, because then you are entitled to go to a hearing and plead your case if to what you feel the value is of your home. And so there's that option also. So you can appeal. That would be, I believe, your final appeal. And sometimes it's not right. I know a few years ago, my side of the street, you can pull this data up with the local counties on what the assessed value is of a particular property. And this one side of the street where I live all saw property increases. The other side of the street saw 0 increases. So I think they did it in sections. And they don't come out every year, knock on every door, et cetera, and do new valuations. So I did appeal mine based off of what was across the street, and I actually won. I'm like, hey, home right across the street, X amount of dollars, similar square footage, So I don't know how that actually happened, but it did happen. So how would someone go about buying a short sale type of deal using a realtor? Well, I do handle short sales. I have a couple videos on my channel on short sales, but at the current moment, short sales in our market are very slim to almost non-existent. Mostly it's due to the fact that many people still have lots of equity in their home. So there's not a need to do a short sale for most, but that could change over the next year. Depends how the market goes. So, but over the last couple of years, foreclosures and short sales have been far and few in between. And I'm referring to areas that I'm familiar with. That'd be along the Wasatch Front. So basically Provo up to Logan, and also the St. George area. Some of the rural cities in Utah, Richfield, Moab, places like that, I'm not 100% certain on if they experienced some short sales. Possibly in an area maybe like Richfield, there may have been some foreclosures, but for the majority, it would be a very few. Very, very few. And that could change. Who knows what's around the corner? Who knows what's around the corner with everything going on in the world at the moment? We have a man in Russia that wants to shoot off nuclear weapons. So everything could change. But that's how it goes about. Short sales are listed on the MLS, and they're handled basically like most transactions. And when I say basically, typically the closing period is much longer because they have to be, it depends if they've already been approved by a third party or not approved already by a third party. And basically that is, has the seller already gone to the bank and basically pre-negotiated what the home possibly could sell for. Those particular ones that have had the paperwork already submitted usually will go quicker. The ones that have not, then everything has to be submitted to their bank, and the banking department has to look it all over. And there are some short sales that literally take months to years to possibly clear up. So a couple different avenues. Any more questions this evening? But property tax is always fun. It's free to appeal property taxes. You're welcome to every single year. If you need me to shoot you comps or something like that, I can always do that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's always, I do appeal. I actually do quite a few appeals. So when this time of year with properties that I have and friends and stuff like that, I actually do stay busy just providing some information. It's all in a short time period. So any more questions this evening? I'm going to call it an evening, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. Thank you.